cake, blow the candles out, feeling like LeBron James.
How are you? They would rather tell you about presidents and make you recite these evil ass people names who unalived and enslaved people. The first 10 to 13 presidents unalived and enslaved people. How many presidents were involved in enslaving people? At least 13 U.S. presidents are documented to own enslaved people at some point in their life. Of those, at least 8 own enslaved people while serving as president. I'll wait. You want the name? Yeah, let's get the name. So when you reciting these evil ass people and your kids learning about, oh, George Washington was such a good man. These are such a good people. Get it out of your brain. This is what I'm talking about. Pseudo history. This is what I'm talking about. Learning about people who are evil as hell, but the whole time you hyping them up, you voting, you think it doesn't work that way. First president of the United States. Oh my gosh, that just sends chills in my body when I just read this shit. George Washington, the first president, Virginia. This is the same place where Walter Plecker was, who reclassified us from Indian to Negro. They didn't say Indian to Native American. They said Indian to Negro. Y'all don't want to skip that part. George Washington enslaved over 300 people. Signed the 1973 Fugitive Slave Act. Secretly rotated enslaved people between Pennsylvania and Virginia to evade the state's gradual emancipation law. George Washington. The 1793 Fugitive Slave Act. George Washington. I'm going to say it again. He owned over 300 people while he was the president. And you think the president got your best interest? When they whole shit was built on enslaving you and capturing you and stealing the land and making laws to steal the land. That's so patriotic. Thomas Jefferson. Make sure y'all kids know this part too. While they sitting here thinking that these white presidents was so prestigious. While they got 300 people shackled on their land working for free. Thomas Jefferson, Virginia, enslaved more than, oh my gosh, 600 people. That's already 1,000 people right there just with the presidents. The first 2. They had 1,000 people kidnapped working for them, building wealth for them so they could get their face on money and shit. So they could get statues built. He authored All Men Are Created Equal while profiting from enslaved labor. Enslaved Sally Hemings, with whom he had several children. That was Thomas Jefferson. They was enslaving them to rape them, enslaving them to kidnap them, enslaving them to make them produce more babies to work for free. And you think the law done changed to be in our favor? You think the president got your best interest? Do your research. James Madison, that's number 3. He enslaved 100 people at Mount Pelier. He called slavery evil, but freed no one. His wife Dolly later sold people he enslaved to pay her debt. So between the first 3 presidents, that's 1,000 people for sure. Then you got James Monroe, number 4, Virginia, 30 to 75 people. Supported colonization movements, sending free blacks to Liberia instead of granting equality here. They wanted to send us to Liberia, but I thought we just came from over there. You see what I'm saying? You see the fuckery? You wanted us to go over there, but you brought us from over there. Come on, man. We was already here. And this is the worst one that I actually hate the most. Andrew Jackson, Tennessee. He enslaved roughly 150 people on his plantation, the Hermitage. But what you see his face at? When you use this every day, remember this guy, this is what you call propaganda. They put this in your face every day so you can see it. So you can always not know. But this guy, the first president, he got his face put on money for enslaving 300 people. Okay, enslaved 300 people. Let's just throw you on the dollar bill so we can take this to church, put this in the collection plate, and we're going to get blessed. Let's do that. That makes sense, guys. Do that make sense to y'all? And then Andrew Jackson, what he get for enslaving 150 people on his plantation and going to my hometown of Tallahassee, aka Appalachia, and unaliving people and stealing land, what did he get? He got rewarded. He's forever etched in history. So when you go to church and you throwing this in the pot, you think you're getting blessed with somebody who was enslaving people while he was the president? Martin Van Buren, that was number 6, the 6th president. He was in New York, enslaved one person early in life. So maybe it was starting to be abolished, but it wasn't abolished because they had a good heart. And a lot of people think that, okay, it was abolished because they had a good heart. When actuality, it wasn't because they had a good heart. That wasn't it at all. So what do you get for being evil? You get put on the money. Ain't worth shit. It ain't. Turn it into some land. Martin Van Buren, one person he enslaved. New York gradually abolished slavery by 1827. He claimed to oppose expansion but still benefit from its economy. Because you know it was an economy, so they just changed the slave economy to the labor economy. Because these are the same presidents who started this shit, and they transitioned, say, okay, well, since they fighting us to be free, we're going to pretend like they free, but make them go to work for minimum wage. Van Buren was actually the 8th president. He's just the 6th one that I'm mentioning who owned people. He owned one person. Yeah, I'm going through 13 presidents who own people. He's number 6 on my list. Number 7, William Henry Harrison. He was in Virginia and Indiana. He enslaved several people, pushed to legalize slavery in the Indiana Territory. Some kind of way he was president. So who's voting for these people? Right. He died a month into presidency but had long supported slave-holding policies. John Tyler of Virginia. He enslaved 40 people. Pro-slavery advocate who sided with the Confederacy after leaving the office. I'm just trying to give y'all who these people are. So when you talking about the president this, the president that, y'all know these things, these presidential campaigns and all of this stuff was not built on. That's what I'm saying. It's all to decay your thoughts and your mind to make you think something good when it's not. To make you think George Washington just because he owned the money don't mean he was good. Andrew Jackson was the worst, but he still got rewarded for being evil. That's what I'm saying. When you are a white person, you get rewarded for being evil. You get rewarded for decaying other people's minds. You get rewarded for hate. You get rewarded for genocide. You get rewarded for homicide. You get rewarded for touching on women without their permission and giving them babies without their permission. You get rewarded. You're not looked at as insane. You are rewarded. But here we are out working hard every day trying to do what's right. We just get the foot on our neck. We get to pay taxes to people who trying to enslave us. We get to pay taxes to police and legal defense systems and all these different systems that are meant to send us down the pipeline or the work line. They're not meant to send you down the dream line. They're not meant to send you down the line where you are free in the soul and the spirit. They meant to send you down the line where your soul is either going to be in prison one way or in prison another way. George Washington, oh brother, this guy stinks. He stinks bad. He is basically halitosis in man form. Him and Andrew Jackson. Really, look at Trump. He come from this. Look at all the presidents. They only stopped capturing us and having us enslaved working for free because we fought that. They didn't have no good heart. We fought that. We said, you not going to do this. We rebelling. You kidnapping us. We running away. We uproaring. Don't let history lie to you no longer. Know who these people are that your kids are studying like they good people. They can't study their ancestors. They can't study melanin. They can't study financial literacy. But they going to learn about some damn people, some colonizers. Doesn't make sense. James K. Polk. He was in Tennessee. Enslaved 25 people. Bought and sold people while he was the president. Expanded the U.S. territory through war, spreading slavery westward. Meaning, if you go and read the book on despotisms, this is why we've been lied to think we're from Africa, because the product of war, at the end of war, is prisoners of war. Those prisoners of war here in America were turned into the word slave, so that we could think we're from somewhere else, so they can steal the land. But the product of war, which is what we've seen them come over here and do, is being a POW. So technically we still POWs, paying taxes, living like shit is normal when it's not. These presidents owned and bought people and sold people while they were serving. And James K. Polk, when did he serve? Let's look this up. The 11th president in 1845 to 1849, a protege of Andrew Jackson and a member of the Democratic Party. He was an advocate of Jacksonian democracy and American expansionism. Think about that. He was 1845 to 1849. My genealogy records go back before this. So while they was doing all this, my people was here owning land, getting census bureaus, being researched for them to just steal the land. These presidents stink worse than dragon breath. Period. Way worse than dragon breath. Yeah, they stink way worse than dragon breath. Zachary Taylor, Louisiana. He enslaved 145 people on multiple plantations, might I add. He was publicly neutral on slavery. Privately profited heavily from it. Most all of them did. Then there was Andrew Johnson. This was Tennessee. He enslaved 5 people before the Civil War. Claimed to free them during the war, but later opposed civil rights for freedmen. Ulysses S. Grant. I heard his name a lot too. He was in Missouri. He enslaved 1 person who was freed in 1859. Later led the Union to victory over the Confederacy and fought the Ku Klux Klan as president, showing transformation but not innocence. And the last one is John F. Kennedy. Because of his family wealth, he did not personally enslave anyone, but his family's wealth traced to ancestors who profited from slavery-linked trades in Ireland and Boston. The number of presidents who enslaved people in any capacity, whether directly or through their family, is 13. The number who enslaved people while they were the president is 8. The number of presidents who publicly condemned slavery but still profited, many of them. Even now, they still profit off of that slavery mindset. They just call it work now. Founding fathers founded more than the government. They founded an economy built on stolen lands by stolen hands. Even the presidential mansion was built by enslaved Niji and our ancestors who never saw freedom. They still make money off of that today. Basically, 28.3% of all U.S. presidents enslaved people during their lifetime. That's the percentage. Almost a third of the presidents enslaved people during their lifetime. The only reason why they don't do it now is because we made it illegal. So when you think about your brain decaying and the thoughts that is perpetuated by propaganda, I want to leave you with this today to know who you listening to. Detox your mind and always stay elevated and motivated with positivity no matter what is going on in the world. Okay, my Niji. Speaking of